Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. This is my first time doing a voiceover, so let me know if you guys like it. But today we're going to be taking a look at a tier list for all the seasonals in the game. I'm taking a look at all the seasonals only because there's two new bundles in the game. One of them, it's the same bundle, but one of them's on the web shop. So as you can see, it's a web shop exclusive. So for $29.99, you get a seasonal uniform ticket, which you can use to buy any of the seasonals in the game. You get 1,000 crystals and 3 million gold. Overall, some people might think it's a very valuable bundle. You can buy it 2 times. And yeah, so a lot of people who have returned to the game or haven't had a chance to pick up a few uniforms, seasonal uniforms, this could be a good opportunity for them to pick up these uniforms. But yeah, it's on the web shop and also in game for the same exact price. Even though you can buy it on the web shop twice, you can buy it in game once. So they're pretty much promoting you to use the web shop a little bit more. So let's get into it. To begin with, I'm gonna be making 2 tier lists. One just overall rating all the uniforms, and then the second one is going to be me debating which one's worth it to use this specific bundle and the ticket on. So I'm gonna start with overall who I think is good, and it's just if they're still in the meta or in contention in the meta. I'm gonna begin with the avoid tier. These are going to be characters like Cable, who've gotten newer uniforms since the release of this specific uniform, or characters like Squirrel Girl, who hold barely any value. She's a support for Thanos, but she's not that good. Similarly, Magix is going to be in the avoid pile as well because she has a new uniform. Groot, not as useful. Iceman, not as useful. Kingpin's got a very good rework recently, so you can just pick up the normal uniform from the store. Enchantress also has a newer uniform. So does Quicksilver. This uniform is also pretty bad. All the Gwenpool, Deadpool uniforms are also pretty bad, and I think that's pretty good for avoid for now. Moving on to mid characters, these are characters who previously probably were meta, but since then have lost value or have been replaced by other characters. Characters such as Angel used to be a very good character, and he was a good PvP support, but now it's not as valuable. However, this is one of the more recently reworked characters, Ancient One. He is not as good or doesn't contribute to the meta anymore that, because not a lot of elemental characters are meta for PvP, so I put him at mid for now. And then someone like Storm, even though she holds value in being one of the few tier 4 supports in the game, if you want to push World Boss Legend stages, he might be a pickup for you, but it's for players who are wailing out or to an extent. But yeah, I'll put her in mid tier as well. And then someone like Weapon Hex as well. She is a tier 4 able character, so she can act as support for zombies, but you're not gonna use her support in PvE. She's a PvP support, and it's not that much of a value to tier 4ing her and maximizing her when you only have 2 zombie characters that you can use in PvP, Wong and Captain America to name them. And then moving forward, we have, I think, Black Bolt is a mid-tier character. He's been replaced recently by, he's been replaced in the meta overall by other better universal villains. So overall, I think he does not hold as much value in the meta, so you should probably skip this uniform overall. And it's been so long since he actually received a uniform. I think he's going to be receiving a uniform with a Medusa update for the Inhumans. And then I'd say similar to him, Magneto is also a pretty washed character because Doctor Strange has just come in and dominating the whole scene right now. But yeah, this is the mid tier. Mid tier. I I would probably rate it like this in order. I think these two, like the first two characters, have a bit more of a bit more of a usefulness than the other four. Weapon hacks can be arguable, but still, yeah. So moving on, we're going to be going to the good tier. I think Crescent is a good tier character because she is meta for like only 1 day of alliance battle. She's the only combat female tier 4. However, she does lack versatility. I've made a video on her reviewing her newest uniform. So if you guys want to check it out for yourself, you feel free to check it out for yourself. And yeah, next out that Yondu is a good tier character. He is a alien support, and he is I think good for like meta for like one alliance battle day. So I would put him in a good tier support, and he is also a very good support for Thor. So if you like, okay, like if you want to push World Boss Legends, he's also a good option. And then next in the good tier, I would say probably Rogue. Rogue is a good tier character. I think she's very versatile, but she isn't the best at anything except for farming. She is the goat of farming. I use her for farming every day and she is insane. But overall, her PvE value is limited to farming, but she can be used in Alliance Battle for a mutant female day, but she doesn't score as good as Psylocke, for example. So yeah, I'll just put her in good, but she is a goated farmer, just to be clear. Next up, I'd say Abomination is also a good tier character. He is primarily focused on gamma radiation characters, so he's gonna be very, very useful for Hulk. And if you use Hulk for Alliance Battle, I think he's a good pickup or like a good option as a support. He's meta for 2 days, if only if you use Hulk as primary in Alliance Battle. So I'll keep him at good tier. And if they have if they rework Red Hulk a little bit better, maybe he would have been more relevant to the meta, but what can I say? Next up, I'd say Satana. Satana is also a decent elemental damage support. However, her artifact is insane for all universal characters. So with her artifact, I'd say she's meta for like 2 or 3 days in Alliance Battle. And yeah, I'll just put her in good tier. She's overall a decent support. Next, Morgan Le Fay. Similar to the other 3 supports in this tier, she's very niche. She's catering towards, I think, universal characters. So she is a decent support, and she's meta for I think 2 Alliance Battle days. Next up, I would say Gambit. Gambit is a decent to a very good PvE character. He's good for 1 Alliance Battle Legends Day. That is the mutant last I think hero day. He scores I think better than Psylocke in that specific day, but like he also lacks versatility, making him a decent character but like not as good. Now I think next up is Black Cat. She is only limited to tier 2, so I'd say she lacks some value in that sense. However, she's also a very niche a very niche support. She's good for like a couple of Alliance Battle days. She has a very good leadership and also a good artifact for support. And I think the final addition to this tier, in my opinion, is Thanos. I think Thanos is a very good universal villain if you don't have Loki built already. Not to mention Loki is a lot harder to play compared to him. So I'd say he's a very good pickup. I've also made a review video on him. So if you guys want to check that, if you guys want to see it for yourself, feel free to check it out. Now I think we are done with the good tier. I am going to move on to the best tier. these characters, in my opinion, offered the best value as seasonal characters. They provide like versatility and like insane support ability. Starting with Mysterio, he is blast villain meta. Even though there aren't many blast villain supports, that's what makes him that much better. So he's meta for I think 3 Alliance battle meta days, making him a very good support, and he's like one of the best supports for Doctor Strange in an Alliance battle. Similarly, Sin is also one of the best supports for supervillains. So she is meta for like 5 Alliance battle days. She is a paywall. Even though she's paywall, she's really good as a support. Next up, another support, it's White Fox. I'd say she also has an insane support ability catered towards characters with leadership. And also I think with this uniform she has support ability for superheroes, making her that much more versatile. Talking about superhero supports, Phil Coulson, one of the best supports in the game. I use him every day. He's a part of my ref farming team and also my story mode farming team. He just has overall a very good support kit, and also his artifact adds to his support ability, making him that much better and that much, more versatile. I think I missed someone from the good tier. I would say Sharon Rogers goes to the good tier again. She is not meta for Alliance battle or useful in Alliance battle because of her type, and also blast females aren't that good for Alliance battle, making her a World Boss Legends centric character. However, she's insane for World Boss Legends. She's very proc friendly. I use her with an energy and she shreds. So if you want to pick her up, keep in mind you can't really use her in anything apart from mainly World Boss Legend. Going back to the best tier, we have Psylocke as the next one. She is very versatile. She is slightly worse than Gambit in the in Alliance Battle Legends Mutant Blast Day. However, she is a lot better than Rogue in Alliance Battle Mutant Female Day, making her very versatile. She's really good for World Boss Legends. She's overall a very good pickup. Next up, one of my favorite characters in the game, Ghost Rider. This uniform is absolutely insane. It's been 2 years since, it's gonna be 2 years in Halloween this year since he came out, and he's absolutely insane. You can use him with the Judgment, you can use him with the Rage. He's just so good. Like, his damage output is just insane. And with his artifact, he also has some PvP value, putting him at number 2 in this whole list. Next up, the final character of the list, in my opinion, the best seasonal in the game. She's just absolutely insane. The PvE queen, none other than Luna Snow. She's meta for 6 days of Alliance battle. She's just the best speed female character in the game. On top of that, she's a human, so she goes in for all the restrictions in Alliance battle. She's just so good and so easy to play. She's very good for World Boss Legend as well. I often find myself pushing World Boss Legend stages with her, even though she isn't necessarily the best World Boss Legend character. She's really easy to use, making her that much more versatile. But yeah, this is the list for rating all the uniforms, and I tried my best to put them in as much of an order as possible. But most of these characters, their values can be arguable because some of them are paywall, so you have to actually pay real money to get them, and some of them are full price crystal, making them a little bit less expensive but still very expensive for a casual player or a free-to-play player. But yeah, keeping that in mind, I'm going to be moving on to the actual worth of picking these characters up using the premium ticket. I'm gonna rate all the male characters at crystal cost, not worth it, because these characters you can buy with crystals during the time they're actually out. So I think these are actually not worth it at all, because spending $30 and getting a character that you can technically get for free is not worth it at all, in my opinion. The 3 tiers are for characters, the female characters that are actually paywall, where you can get a little bit of your money back in terms of paying the $30, because when the seasonal characters are purchasable, you have to buy $20 worth of bundle, or like worth of crystals or something, just to actually get your hands on these characters normally. So I'd say spending the $30 is not that much of a big deal if you were planning to pick these characters up during their release anyways. So yeah, I'm gonna start with not worth it characters. Similar to the previous tier list, these characters offer not much of a value in this current meta, but they're still in packs for some reason. Some of them have gotten discounts since they've come out in the past year. But yeah, these characters I think are absolutely not worth it. Some of these characters are debatable. Someone like Weapon Hex is debatable for someone who's a bit of a casual player. Someone like Rogue is also debatable, because you can just use Thor as a free-to-play option for farmer, for a farmer option. But yeah, compared to like like Psylocke, Rogue is nothing. Like you can use Psylocke for almost everything Rogue can be used for, even though Psylocke is a bit worse at farming, but on manual she's a bit more faster than Rogue, but on autoplay Rogue is a lot faster. Similarly, Morgan Le Fay can be arguable, because you can like try to make other supports instead of her like actually paying cash to get her. And like overall, like all the support tier characters I'd say are arguable or like debatable, but I think Sin is one of the better supports. That's why I would say she's worth it. She's just too good, because she's like meta for like 5 alliance battle days. She's almost game breaking or like game changing for your account. I wouldn't say the same for someone like Storm. She'd be a mid character that I wouldn't necessarily recommend picking up, because I myself haven't even picked her up. Similarly, Black Cat, especially since she doesn't even have a tier 3 or transcended potential, let alone a tier 4. She's not as versatile. She's only limited to alliance battle, speed villain day, making her that much more worse or like less valuable. Now, Sharon Rogers, I made a video reviewing her and her old uniform. The old uniform was much worse, but like the results only matter if you are pushing up World Boss Legends, making her that much less valuable in terms of actually spending money to get her. Next up, we have White Fox. This one's a tough decision. It can be in between like debatable and worth it. So I'm just gonna put her at the last of worth it. Actually, never mind. I'll just put her at top of debatable, because you can just pick her crystal uniform. That one's a bit worse, but still has a lot of supportability. And yeah, you can probably skip this uniform. If you really want to get this uniform, you can use her for pushing World Boss Legend stages, but not World Boss Legend Plus stages. And she's also pretty decent for Alliance Battle. Next up, we have Crescent. I'd say she's also debatable. If you already had Hope, I don't think it's worth getting this uniform. The improvement in score you get in Alliance Battle is pretty decent, but like it's not worth paying actual money for, I think. But if you really want to push Alliance Battle, feel free to buy her. And then lastly, Luna, I still think she's worth it. Even though she is a paywall uniform, she still, I think, pays herself off in value throughout the Alliance Battle days and also the other PvE game modes she is useful in. If you do actually plan on picking up the $30 bundle, I'd say go based on this list. If you already have the top tier uniforms, I'd just recommend skipping the whole bundle. And especially if you're missing the crystal especially if you're missing the crystal cost uniforms. I'd recommend letting the bundle go, because it's not worth it in terms of value and like actually spending money on the game to get a character that will technically be free in a couple of months. But yeah, this is the final tier list for the bundle, and overall this is the final tier list for the seasonal uniforms. And yeah, that sums up the video. If you guys have any recommendations, or if you guys disagree with anything, please let me know down below. This is my first time doing a voiceover, so I'm going to be looking at all the comments. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the video. Leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and have a really good one, my boys. Bye bye.